Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing a palettes inspired by Jaws. It is the 50th anniversary. Jaws is one of my favorite movies. I found this on Amazon. It's an adult coloring book, but I got it for the kids because my children all watched Jaws a couple of weeks ago and are obsessed. We've had to watch all 4 movies every day, twice a day for the last like 2 weeks. So hold on, they're using their karaoke machine. It's because I'm down here and they know that I'm down here and it bothers them, so they're being super loud. Okay, so I thought I would pull out some palettes that kind of fit the theme. They do have, I have seen a shark or Jaws palette. It was on like Beauty Bay, Beautylish, one of those sites. It was a UK brand. It just looked okay, so I never bought it. But these are palettes where the color story makes me think of Jaws. So that's what we're going to do today. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. If you are new, make sure you subscribe. If you are not new, I appreciate you being here. Hopefully the peanut gallery is not going to be super loud, and I'm wearing my Amity Island shirt. And yeah, let's jump in. So these are not in any particular order. Like I said, these are color stories that kind of fit into like Jaws, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go through. I probably could have picked out more than this, but I ended up with a pretty good stack. And so I just stopped looking, but I probably could have pulled out more than what's here. So you're not going to see every single like blue or whatever palette that I own, but these are ones that I think follow suit with the color story of Jaws. So let's go through. So I pulled out the Sea Talk palette from Odin's Eye. This was the Laura May Beauty collab. Very ocean-esque. I like the ones with the pop of yellow because it makes me think of the barrels at the end when they're trying to like keep the shark up. So love the pop of yellow, love the blues, the beach, the sand. It's very neutral as colors when they're in town, like the sheriff's uniform and all of that. So pulled that one. In the same vein, and I tried to pull out a couple of more affordable ones. I don't think there's anything that's like super high end, but like ColourPop's pretty inexpensive if I could hold it up right. So there's Limoncello. Again, this is pretty neutral, so this is going to be more in like the sand again, and the sheriff's clothing and the beach and the boat itself. But again, you have a pop of yellow, you have a pop of blue. I just like the warmth, like reminds me of the beach. So pulled that out. Serenity from Cosmic Brushes is a very blue, aqua-esque, ocean-y color story. Is this Christmas Eve from Odin's Eye. Again, you got the blues. There's some like sandy, murky colors. And again, I love the pop of yellow. So this is a good, the only thing missing would be a pop of red. And then in the same vein, I did the Silent Night from Gourmand Girls because it's almost the same color story. Again, you got some neutrals, a bunch of blues, some yellow, gold, white. Let's see, Glam Light. This is the Camp Crystal Lake Friday the 13th palette. So we've got red and blue and like teal and the browns. So this like if you were going to make a Jaws palette, I feel like this is pretty on point as far as what you could do for a color story. So yeah, if you took this off and put a shark here, this color story would be perfect for a Jaws palette, I think. Because again, it covers, other than like the yellow missing, like this is pretty close. My 3-year-old's favorite scene is when the boat captain gets eaten. So she always asks me, is the boat captain gonna get eaten? Is this the one with the boat captain? I want to watch the one with the boat captain. I don't know what that says, but so I pulled out this because it reminds me of like the blood and the water and the murkiness and the dark you know, energy towards the end of the movie when they're like really for dear life trying to, you know, kill the shark. So pulled out. What is this one even called? Crazy in Love? The Chucky one? I don't. Pulled that one out. I pulled out the Halloween 2 palette just because it has the blues. It doesn't have yellow, but it has this kind of like, it's an orange, but it's almost a mustard orange. And the yellowy gold, and then you've got the blues and the taupe. So again, I thought this was, if you had a couple of red shades, this would be pretty close to a perfect color story for Jaws. So I think if you combine this and the Camp Crystal Lake with a little bit of the Nightmare on Elm Street one I'm going to show you, you could have a perfect Jaws palette. So pulled that one out. I am surprised at how much I've used this, because they did 2 Nightmare on Elm Street palettes. They did a green one and this one, and I thought for sure I was going to use the green one all the time. I think I've used that once. I've used this at least 5 times, the red one, which surprises me. But I like you have a black, you've got some grays, and then again for the blood. And I like there's like some pinks. So like I said, these 2 together make the perfect Jaws palette. A couple that are not Glamlite are the Ace Beauté, the Oceanic palette. I have the new one. So when you order it, this is what it's going to look like. This is their newer packaging. It's a little bit thicker. Just a really pretty oceanic color story. Ocean-esque color story. And then here's the old one. So a couple of the shades are slightly different. I want to do a video where I compare these side by side. Just haven't done it yet. So I'm actually going to leave these out over here. So maybe I'll remember to film that. Another one that's actually has the blues and the reds. And then there's like this almost yellowy shimmer. And then you've got like some aqua shades. Something smells. This looks like, I think it's just dirty. Why does this shade smell so bad? I got this when they relaunched this palette. I think this one's starting to turn. I've heard people complain about, and I just checked these when I did my declutter. Almost looked like there was like mold in this blue shade, but I'll evaluate that later. But the color story on this is perfect for Jaws. Like I said, you've got a kind of yellowy color. You've got the reds, the blues, kind of aqua-y. It's the blue shimmer that smells. Yeah, it's this shade. So that probably, what I was seeing that kind of looked like mold is probably actually mold. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's little like white flecks. You can kind of see it down there. So yeah, I just have to stay away from that color because it's starting to stink. And I haven't had this palette that long, but I did check all of my melt palettes because they are susceptible to molding. I don't know why, but so this one need to be careful with. Moving on. Okay, I have a couple from Fantasy Cosmetica. I pulled out the Warlock palette. As again, you've got red, kind of a mustardy yellow, dark blue. I have 3 actually. I have the Bard palette because again, you've got more of the earthy tones from the film. And then this one is the Rogue, which is more of a blue ocean color story. So the 3 together, I wasn't necessarily looking at these separately. I was looking at more as like one thing together. Between the 3, I think you've got a good Jaws color story. Makes me sad about the melt palette because I've never used that, and it's not that old because like I said, I bought that when they re-released it, but that's why I checked, because I did do a separate video where I was checking palettes for mold because I've seen a lot of people's melt palettes mold, so I'm not shocked. And then the last one is Flower Beauty. I just think again that this is perfect. You've got kind of a beige shade, you got the blues, So, and then it's in a little like DVD retro-esque packaging. So yeah, those are my Jaws themed color story-esque palettes that I pulled. Let me know what you would pick out of your own collection if you had to pick something. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being here as always. Again, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye everybody.